$500, and yeah, some of those games are still $500 freaking dollars
because they're rare.
Yeah, they can keep it.
Yeah, they should be able to keep that. You're right. So real quick, we're gonna jump to our main topic, and our main topic that hopefully brought all of you in today is we're gonna be talking about elitism and casualness. And in regards, actually, it's something that kind of crosses different fandoms. Whether you're a fan of games, of anime, of comic books, of movies, it touches everything. I mean, everybody's a different level has a different level or a different different level of fandom, I guess you could say. And we've always got those. There's always that one or that group that always wants to say, if you're late to the party, then somehow they're better than you. GQ can relate. He's like that on general principle, and it is who he is. I mean, I've gotten used to it after knowing him for many years. We all have gotten used to it over many years. It's who he is. But there's ones that just really kind of take it a little bit too far. So first off, I want to address. I want to ask the panel here, and we're going to ask the new girl, Lena, to kind of, start it off. And she will be the one to, kind of describe what goes into making a fan and kind of like what separates a casual from someone that's elite. So, Lena, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. You got the floor. Make it count.
All right. Well, I would say first, I would define a fan as someone who has a little extra vested interest in, be it a game, a movie, comic book, anime, anything. They don't just see it and, look at it, I'm entertained, and go on to the next thing. They're actually, it takes a part of them to follow it. So, like with me, and I'll say with video games, and one video game in particular, Mass Effect for me. I'm all over it. I'm like probably a little more invested in it than most people are. I know the game inside and out, played it, will play it forever. And when somebody like tries to debate with me about it, or they have an opinion, I don't usually trash them for it, but I'm just like, okay, you don't know as much as I do about it. And I try not to get into that realm of belittling somebody or saying, hey, you're an idiot because you don't know as much as I do. Mm-hmm. I kind of just I just take it as, all right, that's cute, you know some stuff. But
I mean, that in itself just sounds so condescending and elitist.
It does, and that is with that thing. Now, if you go to something else, another game, like if you like Final Fantasy or something, I am a fan of it because I'll follow it and I'll definitely watch other people play it and stuff like that. I like the characters, but I'm not extra like how I am with Mass Effect. Mm-hmm. Even if you want to go over to movies, like even our topic just now, I was just like, oh well, I can see other things with the I won't say their name again, but those guys or those individuals.
Those individuals. Okay. Yes. Hey, you can name names around here. Ain't no thing.
I don't know the full story, so I don't want to just start. Anyway, with the creators of The Matrix, I know other movies that I like of theirs, but you guys don't find them particularly interesting or well done or whatever. But I'm not gonna say, man, you guys are crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. No, because that's just I'm a fan and I like it. And so I think when it comes to the elitists, they just kind of sometimes people just take it too far, and maybe they don't have enough going on in their life that they can just be like, well, this is this thing, and I'm gonna go over here and do something else. So that's my take on it so far.
That's cool. Not bad. Not a bad start. Way to kind of break yourself in. So we're gonna go to Big Kahuna. We haven't heard from him in a little while. What in your certain types of fandom, what's been your experience with casuals and elites, and I'll branch off on this topic a little bit later with kind of the second stage of the discussion. So real quick, Kahuna, why don't you tell me what you think? Alvin Wallace, welcome to the chat, sir. Obviously, this might be uh, a new viewer to the show. We are glad to have you. Glad you could join us. Make sure that you give us lots of responses in the chat. Let us know that you know how much you're liking the show, and give us some honest feedback. So Kahuna, go ahead. You got the floor. 3 minutes.
Um, well, as far as the elitists go, I find them funny. Um, I consider myself a casual,
Mm-hmm.
where I get into certain things. I have what I call kicks. So I get on a collector kick sometimes, and then it dies out. Comes to comics, like I get into comics real hard, and then it kind of fades out. So I'm not. I don't consider myself one of those hardcore guys, and you get offended. Certain things like if we have a conversation about Star Wars versus Star Trek, I
Mm-hmm.
might get a little emotional on that one. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so but not to the extent that we call the elitists,
Mm-hmm.
where they get really emotional and they really take it to heart.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I think it's kind of funny.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you bring up some pretty good points because to them it's like a way of life. It's a
Yeah,
it means so much to them. And would you say it's all about emotion, or would it be more about their knowledge? I guess
I think
kind of
I
like
think a lot of
bragging
it
about it.
is knowledge. They want to be they like to be the one that, oh, I know everything. My kung fu stronger than yours.
Hmm.
So it's like, yeah, I think a lot of it is it's like bragging rights because I know so much about it, and you little peons, you know nothing.
Right. Get your hands off of me, you damn casual. Those types. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
we've
yeah.
seen the
You
memes everywhere. We've seen the memes everywhere about it. And so what is? I mean, you say you consider yourself casual, but only when it doesn't concern Star Wars. And you say you kind of turn elitist. When would you say you turn elitist? Would you say it gets to be subjective? It depends on what the subject matter is that can flip you from being a casual to being an elitist. Would you say that? 50 seconds.
um, yeah. I mean, I still wouldn't consider myself an elitist when it comes to Star Wars either. It's just I'll get a little bit more into it as far as when an argument happens or something like that about Star Wars, because I think Star Wars is much better than Star Trek. So if somebody else say, "Oh no, it does, no, it's not. Star Trek
Hmm.
is better," then I'll kind of get into it then. But I still don't consider myself a elitist when it comes to that. I just kind of go with the flow and let them be the all-knowing,
Hmm.
and I just kind of laugh at it.
Okay, so you don't necessarily feel like it's not that deep for you to kind of really argue about and say that you're right. You kind of let them sit in their ignorance. Would you say?
Yeah, and it gets to a point in arguments where nobody's gonna win because I'm right and the other person says they're right. In my head, I'll just call them stupid,
Okay.
or
Okay.
I'll hit them with the MythBusters, and I reject your reality and substitute it with my own.
Okay. All right. We're not gonna leave GQ last. We're gonna let him go now. GQ, jump in there. Um, and let's flip this. Let's approach it from the standpoint of what makes, because maybe you can articulate this a little bit better than the other two were able to. What goes into the mindset of an elitist, and why is this so deep? Is it just the fact that they have to be right all the time? Three
Well, it's
minutes.
not even so much. It's not even really so much about being right all the time. I mean, you just already are right. You already have taken the time to invest the time, the energy, and the effort into learning about whatever it is that you enjoy.
Hmm.
And you make sure that you know everything there is to know about that. So anybody that comes in, unless they're asking questions and are willing to, open themselves up to your vast, like infinite annals of knowledge, then I mean, otherwise, they're just they've already shown themselves to be, as the Kahuna said, a peon. Now, the one thing I will disagree with him on is not emotion. At least for me, it's never emotion. It's always just about I like having the most stuff. Years ago, when I was a little smaller GQ, I've had a Garfield poster that had it had the slogan that basically just said, "He who dies with the most stuff wins." And it was this. He had him with a Lamborghini in the background, a huge house, a bunch of money, and everything. So to me, I took that to heart, and it's just like, if I'm going to collect Star Wars, if I'm going to collect Marvel, if I'm going to collect DC, if I'm going to collect movies, and I'm going to, I'm going to share. I'm going to do something I normally wouldn't do. I'm going to give the audience a tour of
Yeah, right.
and show people why I think the way I am and do what I do. I built the collection because the collection is a representation of everything that I enjoy in my life. So,
And there's
those
nothing
that
wrong
like
with
to say,
that. I
"Oh
mean,
well,
yeah, there's nothing
why? Of
wrong with
course
that.
not. Of course not, because I'm doing it. That's why there's nothing wrong with it." But when it comes down to when people say, "Oh, well, look at all that money you're spending," you know what? I have the money to spend. Money
Right.
is a disposable thing, so
Right.
I will spend it on the things that I enjoy. These are the things that I enjoy. I don't really care too much for people. Don't really have much need for them, other than my circle of friends and the people that I hold close to my dark heart. But I really don't see any real need to worry about, "Oh, well, what about the children?" Well, guess what? I'm sure a lot of these companies that purchased these different items from probably have charities, and they probably give to children. So, in some forms of fashion, I'm being helpful to the kids and the poor and destitute in society. But to me, this stuff is more important because this is the stuff that I like. It's the same as anybody that goes out and binges and drinks alcohol every Friday, or goes to the club and dances, or those people that always have to figure they got to smoke or they got to go see sporting events or whatever. I just enjoy stuff that I enjoy. So if other people can't get with that, well, stay on that side of the street. I'm on this side of the street. It's better on my side anyway. So I mean, that's just how I look at things. It's not really in a quote unquote elitist thing. It's just I feel that because of what I like to do, because of my knowledge of the things that I like to do, it makes me better than other people. And if you just basically look at it mathematically, if you got a Star Wars fan and somebody that doesn't know anything about Star Wars, to a Star Wars fan, you're already better because that person doesn't know anything about what you already know.
Right. Um. Well, okay. That's a good
Can I
perspective.
slide in
Yes.
here real
Yes.
quick?
Please do.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, I agree with GQ on that too, and that's one of the things I do hate is when people, they find out you collect a certain thing, and their immediate response is, "Oh, that's stupid," or "That's a waste of money." It's not a waste of money. It's something that I enjoy. So if it's something I enjoy, then it's not a waste of money. It might be a waste of money to you. And it's like, I have a lot of my friends, they're like club goers. They drink a lot, bragging about how much they bought the bar and all that. See, in my opinion, that's stupid. Because you spend like, if I go spend $100 or something on a figure, I'm gonna always have that figure. You spend $100 on drinks, you pissing that out in about 2 hours, and you have nothing to show for it. I'm gonna always have this figure.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
Not only that, a lot of the figures that you and I collect, they rise in value.
exactly.
You can't get that alcohol back,
You can't get the alcohol
That's
back.
that's
Of
very
course,
true.
you can't get
I
That's
don't think you'd want it back if you could.
Nope.
okay. Well. Oh, hey. Alvin Wallace is an anime and manga junkie. We're definitely glad to have you. I am an anime slash manga junkie as well. So Daitakuji, I want to finish it off with you, and then we'll kind of get into a little bit of a deeper discussion slash crosstalk about where the animosity between the two levels of fandom originates. So GQ, Daitakuji, kind of tell me a little bit about how you feel about what do you consider yourself? You consider yourself more casual, you consider yourself more elite, and what's your feelings on the two levels of fandom?
I don't think of myself as either one of them because elitists do have certain mindsets, and casuals have certain mindsets. I am who I am. There's no category for the great Daitakuji. I am me. I do what I like, and I really don't care what anybody says. I've always been an outsider, and that's fine with me. And if I find people that are in the same world, in the same circle as I, then I'll hang with them. We're cool. We'll have that. And if we're not, then you do your life and I'll do my life. But I don't have an elitist attitude about what I do because I like video games. If you don't like video games, by all means, do what you like. Do I think it's stupid? Maybe deep down inside of me, I might think that what you're doing is not me, yeah, it could be stupid because you are wasting money. Like GQ said, everything that I bought, I still own, and if I chose to sell it, I can get something back for it. I did not too long ago have a cup of sake, and you know what? I pissed it out because that's what happens when you drink.
Mm-hmm.
So when I play a video game, to me, it's an experience. It's something that it's a interactive experience. Every single video game is different, and I'm not gonna tell somebody, look, you should do this stuff because I do it, because that's just not how I think. I really don't. I don't care what people do with their lives because they're not me, and they're never gonna be me. And screw it. But where the disconnect, I think, comes in for a lot of people who are, is because it's us versus them for a lot of things, and you can find that in every single aspect of human life, us versus them. Nobody can be like, you know what, I like this, you can like that. By all means, let's breathe the same air. Let's go to the mall together. Let's watch some movies. They think like, well, you're a piece of shit because you don't like such and such, and you're a piece of crap because you do like such and such. And I think that's where the idea of elitists come in. Like, a long time ago, I was and I still do like Sega, but I used to be, everybody else sucks. Sega's the best. And Dreamcast. That was in the early 2000s. Most of my really close friends remember this shit. I'm probably the only person that argued that the Dreamcast was better than the PlayStation 2 before the PlayStation 2 came out. Now, mind you, PlayStation 2 had some fabulous games, and it will be remembered as being a system that sold a lot of money. Sold a lot of systems and got a lot of money, but it won't ever be the Dreamcast. Regardless of that, I will not argue that point anymore because I don't care. I have a Dreamcast, I have a PlayStation 2, I play both of those games. You think the PlayStation 2 is better than the Dreamcast? Then you missed out. And you're stupid because you missed out. If you like video games, I guess that's how I am. If you're a video gamer, then why do you care which system is better? Buy them all. Play them all. Have fun. Let's play the games together. But if you say, oh, the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 is better than such and such and such, that to me is like, I think that's dumb because you have the opportunity to play everything and have fun with everything. Who gives a shit which one sold more copies, or who gives a shit that has this game or does more powerful? I don't care. And as a gamer, and if you want to call that being elite, as a gamer, owning all the systems is better than fighting over which one is the best one.
Okay.
See?
All right.
I knew you
Okay.
had it in you. I knew you had it in you. If you was great from up here, isn't it?
I have to interject. Dido, I loved what you said, man. And you kind of spoke very eloquently, and you hit all the right points. But real quick, I'm gonna bring it back to the chat real quick. Lena, you got yourself a fan over there on Twitch. I hope you're paying attention. Nady94 is the newest viewer. Welcome to the show. Want to officially welcome you. And he kind of is, kind of taking a shine to you, old girl. He's kind of feeling you. So I told him, he was like, hey, can I have the girl? And I was like, we're not really into human trafficking, so I can't do that. But I told him that I did kind of tell him that if he wanted to submit some game, I'd run it back for him. And he's kind of struggling there. He kind of struggling a little bit. You want to give him a little encouragement, or you kind of want to discourage him and shoot him down real quick?
Well, what is he bringing to the table? Like, can I talk to him? Like, what's going on?
You talking to him now? You talking to him right now? He's out there in the chat. So.
Well, how about he gives us his perspective? Is he an elitist or is he a more casual person?
Okay. In a few seconds, I'm sure he'll come back with something if he hasn't choked out and left. And I certainly hope that's not the case. He was asking me, to drop a beat for him, and I said, kind of can't do that. I'm a little too busy talking and running the chat, so I kind of can't do that. But I told him, he'd have his quick little 5 minutes, but we'll see if he's coming through.
Over to Twitch.
Okay,
I'm
bet.
on Twitch.
All right, bet. Hop over to Twitch. Interact with my man, so we can kind of keep this thing going. And we'll be keeping an eye on you in the chat. Anything interesting pops up, we'll certainly let everybody else know. Now, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about where. This seemingly animosity kind of comes from between And A Tainted Dream is Lena in AD94. So you know you guys kind of spit and kind of work it out, and we'll kind of keep an eye on the sidelines here. Um, but where does this level of I don't even want to say it's dislike. It's in some cases it's like downright hate that generates between from the elitists towards the casuals. Like say, for a recent example, a lot of people are hating on people that love Street Fighter Five because they're saying, oh well, you're a damn casual because you like Street Fighter Five and it's really easy to pick up and it's really easy to play. Um, and you right, calling them noobs and all this other kind of stuff because it's not technical like Third Strike or even it's not as I guess broken in some ways as Street Fighter 4 was. So where does this originate from? Is it just because you guys have attained a level of knowledge that they haven't yet, and you kind of look down on those that haven't tread the same path as you guys have? So not everybody at once. I'll designate Dido. Why don't you go first because you kind of went off at the end there. So why don't you kind of lead us off with that? Where does this hate come from, man?
I think really seriously, it just comes from I want to be right and everybody else is wrong. Because, like, again, going back to the whole thing that everybody on this planet has that opinion. I'm right about what I believe in, what my opinions are, what I see, what my experiences are, and you are not unless you agree with said things. Every aspect of life. It could be hot dogs. It could be friggin' cars. It can be we got the video game things here. It's human nature. It's us versus it's me versus them. Unless you are a friend, you're an enemy. And it really hits home because of people who like video games. They have a lot of choices. I mean, back in the 90s, not so much in the 80s, you just had Nintendo. But back when Sega put themselves into the game against Nintendo, people who grew up with Nintendo, a lot of them were just like, Nintendo's the best, because that's what they attach themselves to. People attach themselves to objects. People attach themselves to beliefs and feelings and all that stuff. And when they do, nothing you tell them is going to sway unless they feel like changing.
All right, hold up. Hold up, GQ. Any rebuttals, or you want to agree with that?
No, I completely agree, and that's part of the fun of it. I mean, it's just like there comes a time in life, and I'm loving what you're doing over there, Chuck Woolery, with your love connection stuff. There comes a time in life when sometimes you just have to look at it as like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy what I enjoy. I'm going to do what I like to do. As long as I haven't, had any real benefit to anybody else's life, I feel that I'm doing well. As long as I'm bringing other people down, then hey, more fun for me. But there comes a time when you have to look at it as, like, for example, the Street Fighter thing. Street Fighter Third Strike, bar none, is probably the best Street Fighter that has ever been made.
Agreed.
Yes, that makes me an elitist to say that, but I don't care. I enjoy Street Fighter 5 because it still gives me the chance to body other people. Mike Bison is coming to you this coming Saturday. But I mean, whatever. I mean, it's like, what do they expect people to do? To, like, get up there and go bang on Capcom's door because they've left out different modes? It's like, we're gonna make Street Fighter great again, like Donald Trump or something. I mean, it's not gonna happen. So you have to just understand that, like, look, there's going to be times when the little peons and the little casuals and all of them get together and they want to have their uprising and say something, and you stand there at the top of the gate and you sick the hounds on them. So I mean, I get it. I can understand why people would really want to have that opportunity to get in there, bang on the door, and be let in to the elite circle and the inner sanctum. But we're here and you're over there, so stay over there, and we're good right here. But a lot of what Dr. Kuji says is pretty spot on. Though,
okay.
Because again, that's an elitist attitude in and of itself. That hey,
in a way,
you do
yes,
me and you do you.
Yes, it is. Kahuna.
Thank you for joining the dark side, bro.
Yeah, Kahuna, jump in there. So, do you think along the same lines as GQ that there should be no intermingling between elitists and casuals? I mean, does it necessarily have to be And AD94, I see you over there. You kind of haven't really come with anything, but it definitely ain't no trap if you hit that follow, bro. We gonna drop you with some knowledge, and we'll enlighten you. Might even take you to the dark side with Mr. GQ over here. But whatever. We hope that you will eventually follow us. We're having a good time interacting with you. But Kahuna, I need you to jump in. Give me your feelings about intermingling between casual and elitist. I mean, there's absolutely no way they can't get along.
No, I don't disagree with that. Just because, hey, I get along with you guys. See, to me, I used to always think that I had a pretty good knowledge of stuff. That was until I joined this group. When I joined this group, I realized I don't know shit. And so in my mind, I'm a
Seen
casual.
AD94. He's learned stuff from us. You could learn it too. Yeah.
You guys are, to me, you guys are the elitists as far as in the group compared to me, because
Okay.
like I said, I'm casual. I've been in and out of things, so comics, video games, everything. So that
Oh. Midstream cutoff. That's terrible.
There he is. No,
Okay.
he's back. He's
Okay.
back.
what happened?
Finish
You
your
got cut off
finish
for a
your
second,
finish your
bro.
statement. You got cut off there for a second. So start over a little
Oh.
bit.
Oh, and I was saying, when it comes to me, I think myself as casuals, and you guys are the extremists, elitists, because you guys talk about video games, you guys talk about other stuff. I know nothing about that stuff at all. So me, I'm just in the background. You guys are pretty much speaking Greek. I don't understand a word that you guys are saying, but but we get along fine. I mean, granted, some of us are from we knew each other since school. But I still get along with you guys. We don't fight or nothing like that. So there could be some intermingling. And me, I don't really fight about this stuff. It's just like, okay, you know more than me. That's it.
And isn't that necessarily the case, Lena? Let me bring you in. I know you're kind of trying to make a little bit of a I won't call it quite a love connection, but maybe making new friends, which is great. But as far as like the intermingling between elitists and casuals, do you feel? I mean, because you said yourself that you kind of get elitist a little bit about Mass Effect. Wouldn't it be better to be a little bit more accommodating to those that know lesser than you, or do you always have to assert your kind of dominance, I guess, over people? And
No, usually I do start off as, with the teacher hat on and, just giving knowledge. If they know something that I might not have known, then, the give and take. I always like to give and take between people. But I think when I do get on my high horse or, get a little snotty or anything, it's because, you tell them something and then they're just like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. But then you have to slap them over the head with that high knowledge and let them know, okay, I really do know, and we're kind of learning here. Don't mess up the flow, kind of thing. So if that makes sense.
We're gonna have to send her a membership card. She's part of the crew, part of the elitist power. Like I'm gonna say this, like Lex Luthor said to Brainiac once: if you have all the knowledge, and you know that there is to know, that makes you a god. Now, you guys know I love to joke around and say that a lot, but I mean, really, when it comes down to it, if you know everything about that you need to know about the movies you love, everything about the comic books that you read, everything about the video games that you play, everything about the collectibles that you own, that makes you kind of a guru in a lot of people's eyes. And like Big Kahuna said, a lot of people, if you come to somebody that can really just jump in a conversation about anything in pop culture, that's amazing to a lot of people. And I'm sorry, if that makes me an elitist, then I'm an elitist because I'm able to dabble in any conversation. I can jump in and jump out. I don't like a lot of the new anime, but hey, that's me. I don't like a lot of new anime because I like the bloodthirsty good stuff of the 80s and 90s.
And as do I. I mean, some of that stuff, that made me a fan of anime is, I miss it. I do miss it a lot.
You just have to find the bloodthirsty anime of the 2000s and the
That's true.
2010s.
I'm too
Okay.
busy doing everything else.
All right. Well, let me bring up something from the chat. I've been paying a little, attention to AD94. Hopefully he he will see the light. Zach Games for Real says he wants to join us, but Zach, you're already part of the crew because you're watching the show. So you say you want to learn more knowledge and become my Padawan learner. You're already in, so you can't get further than you are.
Wait. Nadine 94.
Nady 94 is his
like NADY, like the
no NAY capital D 94.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like the joystick company Natty. I'm like, yeah, but 94. So that would make you like 22, maybe, possibly at the most.
Cubics Rebel just joined. How you doing, Cubics? We hope that you join us as well, or you follow us as well. He says, I hear you. The last anime I saw and stuff I liked was Robotech / Macross. That's a damn long time, man. That's a long time.
Hey, but again, learn everything you need to know about the Robotech. You too can be an elitist.
Okay.
Stickers.
Okay. Well, Alvin J. Wallace kind of brought up something, and let's talk a little bit about that. I know we're kind of over time, but we're having a good discussion. Let's keep it going. Animosity exists between the two groups because with casuals there isn't that enough caring to be diehard fans, and that kind of pisses them off a little bit. GQ, do you agree with that stance?
I can understand that. I can see that. Honestly, like I said, for me, there's no emotion to it. I just like it because I like knowing a whole bunch about a whole bunch. So when I see a casual, like as you like to call them, or somebody that they like Star Wars, but they don't know that Luke and Leia are brother and sister. It's like if you don't know basic stuff, and you don't have like the ability to just remember basic stuff, then you really do kind of need to stay outside the gate. Because I'm not going to lay down with that dog and get up and flee. There are certain things that are just basic, like Superman is from Krypton. Superman can get hurt by kryptonite. If you can't know that, we can't talk. I mean, seriously, that's just like, you don't even have to be a fan of Superman to know those two things. So, I mean, it's just certain things that, like, I get it, and I can see where animosity can build up because casuals are like, oh, well, it's not that serious. We're like, oh, yes, the hell it is. And you say it again, you might get cut.
Yeah. I have to agree with that. See, like I said before, I'm the casualist, but when it comes to basic shit like that, like he said, you don't know that Luke and Leia are brother and sister. That's when my casualist goes into, are you a fucking idiot?
So okay,
so, yeah, I have my moments.
Okay, so then let's flip it like this. Is it just an aversion to people that want to claim that they are something when they really aren't? It's just like you kind of hate, fakeness. I guess you want to say. It's just hate people that are fake and want to front like that they're really down when they really aren't.
Yeah, it's the poser thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the posers. If you don't know shit, then you don't know it.
All right, Kilowog. We're gonna rename you Kilowog instead of the Kahuna.
Okay.
Rename you Kilowog with that poser.
Yeah, poozer. Yeah, poozer. I can see that. I don't consider myself an elitist necessarily, but I know I have the tendency to be that way, especially when it comes to certain things that, like GQ has said earlier before, that you invested a lot of time and energy to learn about, to invest in, and you got someone over there that's just like, spouting off complete nonsense and acting like it's actually the complete truth. It just really makes your blood boil, and you're like, no, you're wrong. And then they want to argue back and forth, say, no, my perspective is right. Well, no, actually, you really take it from me, who knows a lot more than you. You're wrong. You're completely wrong.
But there's real quick. There's nothing like that moment when you prove somebody wrong.
And they shut up.
Place.
Oh yeah.
It's almost, it's not quite orgasmic, but damn it,
it's damn close. It's damn close.
It's intoxicating, and it's like that power that you feel when like you completely just shut somebody down is like, it's an aphrodisiac, and like you just want to keep doing it. That's how like the door for the elitism opens up. So if you guys would just give in to the hatred that you have inside you, and just let the hate flow through you.
Well, see, look,
you too can be an elitist.
We've been there. We've all been there. And ladies and gentlemen, this man to my right starts threads on purpose, actually firebombing people just to start crap on the internet, and
No, but
watches the
see that
fallout, and what,
that
but he
sounds
loves
that
watching
but
the
see
fallout.
but that sounds like troll behavior. I'm
It's
trying
not
to
necessarily
enlighten
trolling.
and bring knowledge to the masses.
Well, see, it's
Now, I
not
have my moments of
right,
benevolence.
right. But see, it's not necessarily trolling when you're kind of correcting people, but it's like you kind of let a snowball roll. You know how it is where a snowball rolls downhill. GQ would be that one dude that just be like, nope, I'm not gonna let the snowball go any further. I'm going to redirect it and actually tell you what the right thing. And it like completely flips people around. They're like, wait a minute, what's this guy talking about? Because he comes up with a completely different perspective. But on the surface, it kind of looks like this dude is completely trolling me. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. But then when you really think about it and think a little bit deeper, his perspective actually has some merit behind it, and that's kind of what he's talking about. It's like, you know when you can take a whole conversation and completely turn it to something else. It's like, I don't even know how to describe that. I don't even know how to describe that,
Like
because
that's
specifically, because it's like, it's like, okay, it's like having racists that don't acknowledge that they're racist, but then when you point out to them that their thought processes and their ways of thinking are completely racist, and then they get mad at you for pointing out that they're racist because they don't want to accept it. I mean, hey, what you gonna do?
it's like Doc Ock said, it's having the power of the sun in the
In
palm
palm
of
of
my
my
hand.
hand.
So I mean,
Yes.
it is what it is, and I'm going to throw this trivia out there for anybody that can get it, and I'll find some interesting thing to give you if you can get it. But where does this quote come from? And this is one of my favorite quotes. My strength comes from hate and no
Quiz
chemical
time.
substitutes. So whoever can get that in the chat, I would love to hear it because nobody's got it yet. And if anybody gets it, I will give you a special shout out or some type of interesting, cool thing. But I'll leave it at that because my elitism is just great. As
But
I
yeah,
sit here, turn to the side and sip my.
I got
guys
something
said
to bring
about
up in the chat. And Cubics Ruble brought it up, and it's actually pretty poignant. You got to be open minded to explore things. Knowledge is power. Now, do you find that casuals in general, um, casuals in general, is just that they just don't want to think? They're just mindless and they just want to kind of enjoy stuff and not really get too deep into anything and invest that kind of time? Because it's like, I'm kind of like you in that vein. If I'm going to invest my time into it, I'm not going to go into it and be completely mindless and shut my brain off. You know, if I'm going to be invested to it and actually, give a crap about it, I'm going to think about it kind of deep. And that's where a lot of conspiracy theories and speculations on favorite movies and comic books and stuff like that. That's where all that comes from, and some of that is pretty fun. But does that make me an elitist? I'm not. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about that, if that makes me an elitist just because I enjoy thinking about this stuff all the time. I mean, hell, I'm a junkie. I'm a junkie of all things culture. I mean, that's why I'm in this. That's why we started this group, because that's the way we are. So, and we're not the only ones that think that way. I mean, yeah, we might not be all into the same stuff, but we have a common ground that we can kind of all come together. Um, so go ahead, Lena. You were gonna say something.
Well, yeah, I think you're dead on, and I think that goes back to the beginning of the conversation, and that is what you just described is what a fan is. Now, I think there's different levels, though. I think sometimes casual fans, they might think just as much and you know go just go just as deep into it, but the elitists, I think, get to that level. Well, they get to a godlike level, like you said. It just comes to that point where I've learned everything there is to know about this, and I can now bring on subjects to give them my knowledge, that kind of thing. I think it's just different levels to the fandom, and casuals might not dabble in it as much. They might think about it, but just not as much. But I don't think that makes you elitist. I just think that is the epitome of being a fan.
Okay, and Autumn, who had to join the chat because her connection was kind of slow. She needs to get a little Comcast in her life. But she says something, about GQ. Says GQ is just saying everything that every elitist thinks. Now, because I've said some of those same things in this very discussion, you can make the argument that everybody's elitist about something. Everybody is elitist about something. So, is it necessarily just a mindset or not? I mean, because everybody's a casual. Not, I won't even say that. Everybody isn't a casual at the beginning. I think some people join, get into something and they want to learn everything they can learn about it. So again, I ask the question to all of you: is there, a little bit of elitist in everybody over certain
Everybody's an
things?
elitist. Everybody, but not everybody might show that they're an elitist. Some people, like you say, revel in being able to say, I'm better than you, I know more than you, and I will show you and put it in your face. Kind of like when a dog takes a dump on your floor, you push their nose in their shit. Some people like to do that. If they're going to come off saying that they know some things and they don't know anything about it, it's our place to say, hey, you don't know shit, I know more than you. Some people are like that in every aspect, not just video games, not just movies, not just anime. Some people are like that with cars, or some people are like that with ketchup packets. I don't know, but that's everything. That's everybody. It's literally everybody. If you know something more than somebody else, most people won't hesitate to try to put it in your face that I know it and you don't.
I know all the quotes from the Taco Bell sauce packets.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Well,
okay.
I can recite Transformers the movie if I really felt like it.
Well, see,
So
a lot of us can do that, and in a way, does that make us, elitist because we get that, we go that deep and we love it and we watch something so much that we can recite it, on memory? You know, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it just
I
makes
just
us,
say
big fans.
I just say you have a good memory.
I
Okay,
do,
yeah,
and more. But I mean, again, like I said, it's really all in how you allow yourself to be perceived and how you perceive yourself.
hmm
Like Adakuji said, he doesn't put himself in either group. He puts himself on his own, which in and of itself is an
is an
elitist
elitist
stance.
attitude. Yes.
Elitists stand alone, even though sometimes they allow themselves to be grouped together as part of a higher community, a higher collective, like the Q Continuum. So there's all sorts of different ways you can look at it,
hmm
but at the end, like he said, everybody's got some elitist in them. But they might not be about. It might not be about some of the same topics that we're talking about pop culture wise. Like you said, it could be cars, it could be houses, it could be a whole bunch of different things. But everybody has it in them. There's dark
Very true.
side in everyone.
That's very
The
true.
dark.
So I will close with this because we're about 15 minutes over. It's been a great discussion, and I hope everybody's really enjoyed it. A lot of people in the chat have actually chimed in and given some good feedback. So we appreciate that, you guys. And I will close with this. Cubics Rubble brought up something in in the chat just now. He said, "I think you're an elitist in your own personal interest," which is absolutely true. Or you have knowledge of something, which is also absolutely true. And he relates it thusly: everybody is like, it's like the new guy that starts at work, and everybody looks at them and they're just considers them a noob because they don't know nothing, or they're not, or they're new to the culture of the job, so on and so forth. Yes, everybody has it in them to be an elitist, but Cubics, I forget who it was. Forgive me in the chat who actually said that elitists can choose to be humble or not about the way they present themselves. That is also very true, and that's also very poignant. There doesn't have to be this level of animosity between casuals and elitists. Some people just like being assholes just on general principle. Other people just like to be right all the time, right? GQ.
No, it's not even about being right all the time. It's just being right. And like I said, I am better at everything.
And thank you for summing
Like
that up
Khan
for me.
said.
Thank you for summing that up for me very perfectly. I don't think I could have said it better myself. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. It's 11:15, and some of you, like Lena, have Agents of Shield to catch up on.